Caribbean Cultural Center, African Diaspora Institute, Harlem Arts Alliance, and Dwyer Cultural Center presented Beyond the Brown Paper Bag Test, Deconstructing Black and Brown, the 5th Annual Redefining African American Conference, What's at Stake, on Tuesday, February 23, 2010. The panel included Dr. Yaba Blay, Rosa Clemente, and Rogelio Pineda. The conversation was so necessary and also timely, and we've sparked so much additional commentary that we've already started planning a part 2 for the spring.
I think that when you look at the topic of today, it is a journey. It is a part of an ongoing conversation. We started this program, Redefining African American, because the center brought together people from Latin America, Central America, the United States, Africa, from Europe, all African descendants, to discuss our reality in the world, right? And within the United States concept, right, African American deals with US born African Americans. But now, when you're dealing with an international community in the world, and an international community that is New York City, we need to look at how we frame our dialogue. What's the paradigm that's going to give us not only a numerical majority, but also how we exercise that majority, because we know that South Africa had a majority of blacks but had no power. So how do you create power, economic power and also political power, and how do you change a mindset, right, to be inclusive? In the area we are now, African descendants from Santo Domingo, right, 99.9% black, right, Puerto Rico también, el barrio, Africa, the different diasporas of Africa, as well as the different diasporas of the Caribbean and Latin America live in New York City. So how is it that we continue to say Dominicano pa allá, Puerto Riqueño pa allá, African American pa allá, and so on, and we continue not to elect the right people into office? We continue to have children who are being pushed out of school, put into prisons, right? So this dialogue is not about skin color. This dialogue is about how you view yourself in the African diaspora as an African descendant, and what your responsibility and our responsibility is as a numerical majority in this city, in this nation, to exercise what's good for our community. So each of the dialogues continue to explore other realities, right, that we experience. And one of the strange realities with the Black Power movement, with us saying somos Puertorriqueños, we're so proud, you know, we're black and proud, we're beginning to see a phenomenon that's very strange. We're beginning to see Sammy Sosa replicated in Antigua, in Jamaica, in Africa, in Puerto Rico, and throughout in Brazil, right? This whole notion of becoming lighter, right? We thought we had left that behind, and that's why, you know, the brown paper bag. We thought that that was no longer an issue, but obviously it is. Obviously it is. It is in the world in general, and it is within our own communities, right? Because the lighter skin, in our families, ay que lindo es. How pretty. But the darker skin is, oh, he's intelligent, she's intelligent. She's dark, but she has a white heart. You know what I'm saying? So we still suffer deep wounds. And these dialogues are intended for you to take them home, for you to have them conversations in your family, with friends, to continue these conversations, because we do redefining once a year, but that doesn't mean that the conversation shouldn't be happening throughout the people who are present, because you all are connected to other people. And the only way that we're going to change our reality is by you taking an active part in that process. So let me introduce you to the coordinator of this event, who is our new program director and curator at the Caribbean Cultural Center, who organized the panel, Ms. Chantrell Lewis.
How do I, come after this woman, Dr. Vega? I want to say Akwaba. Akwaba is a tree word from Ghana, West Africa, that means welcome. So I'd like to welcome you all, even though this is our home. This is our home away from home. The Caribbean Cultural Center is located in Midtown. I said that right? Midtown?
Yes.
Okay. I want to say Mid-City. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I don't know if you ever heard of that little town called New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm getting acclimated to my new home here in New York City. So I want to welcome you all here tonight. This conversation is very important. It's very critical for so many reasons. We did a PSA, myself and Dennis Flores, for this event. And one of the things that I mentioned was that in New Orleans, I was dark-skinned. And it wasn't until I went to Howard University that my paradigm was shifted and people were like, dark skin. I'm like, yeah, I'm dark chocolate, sexual chocolate, what have you. And people looking at me kind of strangely. But in a city where there are people that are literally, they can pass for white, what we call passe blanc in New Orleans and Creole, where people can literally pass for white, and these are people of African descent, I am dark skinned. And there were, times when my step-grandmother would say, oh, your son black, but I love you anyway. Thank you. I appreciate that. So these are issues. It was something that was definitely color complexes were deeply ingrained within me. I felt like I had to overcompensate in many ways. Academically, I was a very competitive person because I felt like I needed these other characteristics to be able to compete, because in there are times that I was bypassed with different things in school or what have you, socially, because of my complexion. So and then I went to Howard University, where I had a friend who was darker than me and was speaking Spanish. And so in New Orleans, we don't have Dominicans really in New Orleans. I'm not saying not at all, like Afro-Latinos do not exist because there's a large population from Honduras and other places, but growing up, it was black, white, and Creole. So here this friend of mine, Bienvenido LeBron, darker than me, is speaking Spanish to his father because he's a Dominican. And I'm like, why are you darker than me talking Spanish? Okay, hello to the African diaspora. So I hear conversations every day where people are saying, oh, those Spanish people, and this is coming from out of the mouths of African American. I'm like, but they're not black. Or I hear Latinos saying black girls, black dudes, and they're the same complexion as myself, or their grandparents the same complexion as myself. So it's very important, I think, especially right now, that we have this conversation, and that's why I thought that would be a good theme for this year's conference. So I'm not going to talk too long.